I've been thoughtin' and bottin' since I was a young little thing, okay? Oh my god, it was the most intense thing that ever happened to me. My life is a chaotic madness. Chaotic madness. What's good, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of Chaotic Madness. It's your girl, Sasha Raee. And today we have one of my very dear friends, Miss Gwen. Hey, girl.
Hi. Thank you for having me. That little intro was so fun and poppin'. I love it.
Oh my god, thank you. Destiny Diaz actually helped me make it, so it was like in like a couple of days too. So shout out to her, because that intro would have been very cheesy and YouTube like copy like royalty free.
That's funny. Wow, yeah, I didn't know Destiny did like audio like that. So that's really cool. She's so multi-talented.
Yes. So talented. Like I remember randomly, maybe a couple weeks before, she was mentioning about how she made a beat. I was like, oh, you make beats? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I decided to have a podcast, and I was like, hey, could you make me an intro? She's like, I got you. What you want? So, you need some music, go to her.
Okay, yeah, wow. I love it.
Yes. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone, because obviously I know you, but let everyone else know if you're under a rock.
If you're under a rock. My name is Gwen Adora. I am your big milky mommy GF. I am an adult content creator, an online creator, a multifaceted human who is trying to make it in this world of the internet.
Sure.
Yeah, that is me. I make a lot of like femdom, mommy-dom content. But you know, I've got other interests as well. So I'm all over the place.
I mean, you are very well known for being a MILF. Like, that is for sure, even though you're not an actual MILF. But they don't need to know all that.
No, don't reveal my secret.
But yes, you do though have some of the like most unique and creative solo content that seems like you have a partner. That I'm always stunned on how you are able to produce it on that level. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that, but I don't have the talent for that.
Oh, you definitely have the talent for it. It just takes a lot of like, I don't know, a lot of organizing and like I even remember like the first year when I started doing like porn, I wasn't like, I don't know, I was putting out stuff, but it wasn't like, I wasn't really putting like all, like, I guess like my creative juices into it. I was more going for like quantity over quality. And then over the years, I've kind of like changed like across the way. So now a lot of my stuff, like, especially like my Halloween projects or whatever, I was like, I would rather do like less content that is like, that I could put like more like money into for like one project and have that look like really banging versus like just a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's fun to experiment with how like your creativity can like push and pull you in that kind of way.
No, definitely. And your Halloween content this year, even though it wasn't as much as last year, this year was still just as bomb, if not like better, because the quality was superb. Like, it was A1. So I always look to your creativity for Halloween, because
oh my god, yeah, you did like
of course. So
you did your 31 days of Halloween, and I was like so impressed that you.
Oh, my 31 days.
Because I did that before too, and I was like, no, like I was like, why did I put myself through this? So when I saw you doing it, I was like, Godspeed.
Yo, when I tell you, okay, this is what's wrong with creative people. We get so into our thoughts, and we get very elaborate, and we have like major products that you need a team for, and we think we can do it by ourselves. And I thought I could really do it by myself. And halfway through, I said, I'm never doing this shit again. Like, I'm never doing this again. This is too much. This is way too much stress. It's too much pressure. Like, no.
No.
Like, no, thank you. Everyone was like, I'm so glad you got through it, because I was really praying for you.
Takes a lot. That's
Is there a delay?
Yes, definitely. But I think it's because my
Or is it just on my end? I feel like you're like, there's a delay, right?
There's a delay, yeah. It's
okay.
My
okay.
internet.
I was like, is there a delay? Or is it me?
In post, it should be okay, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
Yeah.
It should be okay, yeah. And I mean, it's me. It's bound to happen. But other aside from your porn life, I see on Instagram that you're about to start your own podcast. Are the rumors true?
The rumors are true. I'm really excited.
Can we get a little sneak peek on what we can expect?
Yeah. So I have been listening to podcasts since I was in middle school. Like, before like people even knew what the fuck a podcast was, I was listening to like a Harry Potter podcast. That like there was like no like Spotify obviously yeah. Spotify obviously didn't exist at that time, and like SoundCloud didn't even really like wasn't around either. So I had to like, the way that people hosted them were like on like websites or like other like little really, really very niche apps. I remember listening to them on my iPod Touch and finding them. So like, yeah, I've always been just like fascinated with the medium of audio. But I didn't really want to start a podcast until recently, just because I didn't have like a really solid idea that I was like, oh, like I don't want to just be like talking with my friends. Like, a lot of people do that, and trust me, I love that type of content. But I was like, that's not something that I think that like I would like be the best at hosting. So I finally came up with my idea, and it's called Creators After Content, and it is talking to online creators about their offline interests. So, yeah, so I'm talking to people about their hobbies and their like.
I love the name.
Thank you. Yeah, talking to people about their hobbies and their like things that they don't really get to showcase when they are interviewed for like PR stuff, because a lot of times it's about their work, which is amazing. I love being interviewed about my work, but so sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, like I've talked about this a lot to people. Maybe I just want to like, share some stuff about me that isn't like, I don't know, isn't on the books already. So I thought it'd be really good to, let people kind of express their pastimes and stuff that they do to de-stress, and hopefully inspire other people to kind of like, demonetize their days off. That's
that's the key word. Demonetize your days off, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Demonetize your days off. Because as an industry performer, every day we try to monetize. So that is a fresh of breath air and a reminder even to myself to demonetize like days off, because it's hard. I mean,
yeah,
I think your idea is great because you get to know people for a person rather than our organs and our genitals online.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I have such like like a big interest in kind of like slowing down like the hustle culture that is so like ingrained in sex work at this moment. And even just like not just sex work, but like on like any online creator, it's like you have to be like doing something 24/7 or else like you're losing value and money. So I like during the pandemic had to like was like really like, oh my goodness, like I haven't been taking care of my like my home and like my body and my mind in ways that aren't just like working 24/7. Like I was like 100% a workaholic, and now I was like during the pandemic I was like, oh my god, we need to like this is like this is an opportunity to slow down. And I like have been like reinvesting in like my hobbies and like getting to like, you know, to connect with my inner child more, and like buying stuff that like I wanted as a kid, and like enjoying like the aspect of play with myself. And yeah, just really taking the time to enjoy things that aren't just work related. And it's been so lovely. So I kind of want to talk to other people about their journeys with that, and just the shit that they enjoy doing off camera.
Yeah, because a lot of people like to think we're robots and all we like to do is have sex with ourselves 24/7, but a lot of us have lives that don't involve sex at all. So I'll definitely be tuning in. Do you have like a specific release date? Is this like early 2022? Is it like, can we get the exclusive?
I think it'll be like January, like mid-January, 2022 is what I'm aiming for now. But we'll see how it goes. Technical difficulties is like, as I'm sure you're aware, like my biggest thing is like I've got slow internet at home, so it's kind of hard to host virtually with other people because of that. But I'm going to be trying a couple different stuff to see what we can do to get around it. But I want to make it happen because I know people who are much less technically skilled than I am have done it. So I'm like, I know I can do it. I just need to start and get going.
No, definitely. I mean, I'm excited for one. I love podcasts. I didn't start as young as you did though. I would say maybe within the last 4 years, I really started to get into them. And I love hearing like my friends too, because it just gives me another perspective to a side of them that I may not even have known about. So, and I love hearing people talk because I love to talk. So why not? Music is great, but sometimes a good podcast can like get you going. So I'm excited. I'm really happy for you for starting that. I'm excited to see too, like a lot of us, and when I say a lot of us and within our industry are like kind of expanding out into like quote unquote mainstream.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, because that's kind of a weird thing. But like kind of just branching out, and it's really nice to see because as you know, the hatred that we can get sometimes for just being who we are can be a little discouraging to want to pursue other things that we enjoy because we're afraid if people know what we do, it may not be as acceptable. So I'm glad that we're not giving a fuck and still doing the shit because we're badasses.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Yes. Since you mentioned the pandemic, your house, bitch, your house is fire right now. Like your decor, every time you post something new, I'm like, damn, I thought I had skills, but she's on a whole nother level. Like I need an Airbnb a few nights there because that shit looks so good. What made you want to like go that deep into decorating your home? Because for you guys that don't know, like if you follow her on Instagram, she definitely like posts a lot about like new pieces and stuff, and you can just see the background. Like that's not a studio, that is her home, and it is so beautifully put together, and the vibes, and I've never been there, but I can feel the vibes through the phone.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That means like the world to me. I have been obsessed with interior design since I was a kid. I would like watch like all the HGTV shows. Like again in middle school, that was my interest, was like HGTV and like all this like flip and like house swaps and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been like a big goal of mine to be able to like get to like a place financially, to be able to have like a place that like I'm able to like decorate and furnish to like whatever my aesthetic is at the time. And my two housemates moved out within like a couple months of each other to live with their boyfriends. So I just took over like my like 3-bedroom apartment to myself, and I have been going ham on the decoration and been using Facebook Marketplace to like find all of my, like, source all my items, and it has been so delightful. And that was like my big summer project, I guess. Like literally every week I was like getting something new in, getting like new wallpaper, and like it was very like a good physical thing to do too, because like, you know, like you're moving stuff upstairs, and like, because we don't have an elevator for my building, and then like you're like putting up wallpaper, which like that was such like the night that I put up my wallpaper was like, it took so long, and it was like very like physically laborious, because your hands are above your head and you're trying to like make sure this big piece like fits into the other piece. It's like this like horrible physical puzzle. But I love the way it worked out, and like it is, yeah, it's been like a slow like transition, and there's still like my room that actually used to be like my room, like when I lived with my housemates, that's the last one I have to like kind of like actually like get an aesthetic for, and like I definitely need to like paint it and stuff like that, because like when I first moved in, like I was like, oh, like I think I had a very different style, or not as refined of a style as I do now. So I want to like, it's gonna like, that room is currently like my desk like top setup and like my computer and stuff, and then also like a guest bed. So I want to turn it into like a cute little guest room. But all the everything else is like pretty like just kiss right now. So yeah.
Do you feel like, since now you have a 3-bedroom, whole place to yourself, that you're able to be more creatively driven versus when you just kind of were limited to, let's just say, your bedroom?
Oh, absolutely. So much. So I'm like my housemates and I, like, it was a good living arrangement, but like I couldn't be as like expressive. Like I couldn't just like, there was times where I could like use like the main areas for like taking like booty pics or something like that, but like it always felt like kind of like I didn't really have permission to do that. Even like those, like I did it, but it just felt like, I don't know, I was imposing on somebody else's space all the time. So I'm just really happy that like I don't have to worry about like I can just be naked in my house, and like I don't have to worry about someone else's presence, or like just like, you know, worrying about other people navigating the space. So I just can go, like I can take pictures whenever I'd like to, and now like I'm not limited to working. Like I used to work like in the middle of the night, because like I didn't want my my room was next to the kitchen, so like it was really hard if I wanted to like, you know, be fake moaning and like doing like dirty talk to my camera. It felt awkward if someone was like making dinner, or like, you know, out in the common areas. So now I can just like I can work like normal hours, and I'm not like I'm not working in the middle of the night anymore. And that is honestly like such a blessing for my mental health.
That's really good to hear. I think a lot of people think that it's easy for us, and maybe it is, but just speaking solely based off of myself, and then also you and a few other people that I know, it's not as comfortable to pretend to have some type of sexual, whether if it's dirty talking, or if you're fake moaning, or if you're actually moaning, when there's other people that can hear you. You would think that it would be normal or like easy, like, oh, whatever, I've been doing this for so many years, like it doesn't matter. But it is a very uncomfortable and awkward thing to know that someone is listening to you when you're already trying to get into that role. Like,
yeah, no, completely. Like even like at like any types of like events where like there's multiple sex workers in like a house, for example, like it's like kind of like you're like you feel shy. You're like, because you're used to like you and your camera. So then when there's
so
other people around, you're like I'm embarrassed to like act or perform right now, just because like it's out of your comfort zone. It's like so funny.
100%, 1000%. Like I loved, I should say, content like trips and stuff. But like it's so awkward. Even though I'm in a room with sex workers, it's still so awkward because I'm used to performing by myself in my room, where I can laugh at myself, I can giggle, I can like look retarded, and I know I'm gonna cut that out and post later. But when there's someone around you, it's like, I don't do this.
Yeah, you're like,
really different thing.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And then you talk a big shit online, so people expect you to like kind of be that person too in person, and it's like, that's actually not who I am. I'm a lot shyer. Gets me every time. Well, I'm really happy though that you have your space, not even just to be creative, but like to mentally feel free, where you don't have to worry about imposing on someone else. And just the small things, being able to walk around naked. Like, I love walking around my house naked. I never wear clothes at all. Like 99.9% of the time I am naked, and it's the best thing ever. So I can't have roommates because I can't be myself, and that mentally will get to me. So I'm really happy for you in that aspect there, for sure, because mental health is a big thing, and I think a lot of people on the outside that look into our industry don't think that we suffer with that, because I think our life is so glamorized, but there's a lot of things that come with it that can really affect us mentally.
Absolutely.
And speaking of mental health, with the pandemic, how did that, like, kind of we're already quarantined because we all work from home for the most part, but being completely shut down from the world and not being able to go do the normal things we would, going to the gym, going out to get a massage, going out to eat at a restaurant. How did that affect you mentally?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. Because, like, I will say, like, it was a blessing and a curse. That's exactly how I put the pandemic, because it was like really awful to be like not be at home and not have any like stimuli like that were like, because I like going out to like drag shows, I like going to eat with my friends, I get inspiration from like the world around me. So being just like stuck in your room, like at home, it's like you're like, it gets really draining because you're sitting there. And like I remember even like into like the deep the really big lockdowns that we had here in Canada, like the couple that we had, like it was like those are like some incredible mental lows for like myself and my friends, like my close best friends and I, and we're like, oh my god, like how are we gonna like survive this? Like we just want it to be fixed. Like it's just like, which obviously is not like something that can happen, but very glad that we're on the other side of it now. But at the same time, like I think before the pandemic, and then myself and my friends would go out to like the bar like a lot. Like we were very like bar star situation. We would like really be partying, and like I think that like the pandemic forced us to stop like partying that hard and that frequently. So like I think now, like looking back, I'm like it kind of like made us stop, and like just kind of like it did with like me being like a workaholic. Like it was kind of like, here's this chance for you to like rest and reset, and like we don't often get that in life. It's usually just go until like you have a breakdown. So like I'm kind of glad in a certain sense that like it was like, hey, here's a chance to reevaluate your lifestyle a little bit and be like, hey, like now I'm a much healthier person than I was, I would say, before the pandemic. Like I consistently work out now. Like I like eat much better. I am not drinking as much. Like, so I think there was like some goodness that came out of it, as much as there was like, the negativity as well.
I mean, that's really good to hear. I've heard that a lot from people, that it was definitely like a blessing, a curse. How did you say it? A blessing in disguise?
A blessing and a curse. That's what I said. Yeah.
A curse? However, a blessing and a curse. Yeah, there we go. Not a blessing in disguise. A curse and a blessing. There we go. I've heard that from a lot of people. I don't want to get canceled here. That's not what she said at all. But I've heard that from so many people, that it just really made them sit there and reevaluate what was important to them and what wasn't important to them, and helped a lot of people start a lot of businesses, things that they kind of would put off, and say, oh, I'll get to that one day, and never did. But it's kind of like with having that time where you really just have to stop, which is very rare. That doesn't happen because the world moves on. You even had like bill companies like adulthood bills that were like, okay, we're going to give you some time if you need it. Like, we understand. You don't get those type of breaks in life at all. So I think that, yeah, it was a blessing and a curse for sure. I'm glad that it helped you kind of reevaluate yourself, since you found that you needed that. I'm glad that it helped allow you to also relax and kind of not be such a workaholic, because you are very much so a workaholic. I can say that firsthand. I'm like, damn, girl, I'm tired watching you. And that you just feel happier as a person coming out from it. So that I always like to hope that there's a positive from 2020 and 2021, because we're still in it, coming out of it during such a very bad and negative time that's going on in the world right now.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a little weird because of this delay, so I'm like, is she pausing or am I coming in a little bit slow? So bear with me.
It's all good. No, you're fine.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, okay.
It's like a crafted dance where we have to like just like wait to see what the other person is doing. It's like we're dancing.
I mean, do you remember when we was in NOLA and I think you were drinking and we were, oh my God, okay, first of all, that trip was interesting in itself. But we had planned to make a bit. That's all I'm gonna say at that. But we were planning on like doing some content.
Yes.
And you were drinking something, and I was like, oh my God, don't choke. Like, I didn't get to make out with you yet. And I still think about that to this day because I'm like, wow, I really didn't give a fuck that she was going to choke and die. It was like, don't die yet because I'm about to live my fantasy.
That was so funny. Oh my God, I forgot about that. That was so good.
I think about that all the time. So when you were like, oh, it's like a dance, I was like, well, at least you think of us dancing, because I keep thinking about the time I didn't care if you died or not.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Oh my goodness. It feels like such another lifetime ago, but like it really wasn't that long ago. And that's how fast and slow the world has been moving lately. 'Cause it's so crazy when I think about it. I'm like, that was just a couple years ago, but like, what? Where is the time? Where's the time?
Yeah, different people. We're definitely looking back on that trip with different perspectives. That we, yeah, lots changed.
You know, though, I will say, I'm happy I went because I got to meet you in person.
Yeah.
And we got to continue our relationship thereafter. So there definitely are some positives that, because every time I speak about it, I'm always talking about it from the negative first point of person view. But on the positive, though, there were some great things, because then you and I would not be here right now, or even just like outside of this podcast, just like friends, like acquaintances, like that would not be. I mean, it would be more internet based, but it's different when you meet someone in person and then continue that throughout the rest of the days.
Absolutely, yeah. There's definitely some like positive things that came out of that for sure.
Yeah. But are you going to XBiz by any chance?
I am.
Oh wait, hold on. Got this going on YouTube. And you know YouTube, they'll be quick to snip you off. I am so excited because so am I.
Yay!
So I'll get to see you.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Oh my God. I am so excited. Oh my goodness. I was worried because I didn't know if a lot of people were still gonna like go out because like, you know, it's still like a major convention, and it's not like the world is completely safe still, but yay, that makes me so excited.
Yeah. I also wasn't sure if I was gonna go, but like I just feel like a really big need to travel right now. Like I need to go and do something, or else I think I don't know. I just like Canada's pretty like I don't know. We're still like pretty solid with our like I don't know our pandemic numbers, which is good, but like I haven't really done many like bigger trips outside of the country, or like even inside the country, no big trips. So I'm like, I just need to go and do like something that is not here in the cold. It's literally like 4:30 and it's like dark outside already here, and like it's like in the winter it just gets so like sad, and like I just need to go where the sunshine is. And LA has always been like a spot where I like whenever I go there, I'm like I thrive here. It's like the weather is great on me. I always look like I'm just like glowing. It's like I'm pregnant whenever I go to LA. It's like my whole body's like, oh yeah, like this is the spot to be. And like, it's just like my like for whatever I have like my like circadian rhythm, which is like the rhythm inside your body that keeps you like going to bed at the right time. Mine's like opposite, so like I always feel like the most like inspired and creative at night. So which is like I hate that because like I'm that makes me stay up later, which is like not good in general because you know I want to keep on the society's timeline, but sometimes my body doesn't work like that. But when I go to LA, when I go to LA because of the time difference, there I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like I have so much energy and like I'm awake at the right time and like I never have to adjust to like the time difference because it's like my body's like naturally meant to be that way, and I'm like, wow, I love this place. So I'm coming down. And I'm bringing my two best friends with me, Eleni and Cheyenne. So I'm very excited.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I'm like over here in like adding myself into people's plans. But I'm like, I can't wait to meet them.
Oh, no, of course. No, I want to introduce you to so many people. Yeah, I'm so excited.
They're the ones that are always on your Instagram story, right? I think
Cheyenne is Sugar
like
Bones.
You guys always go to the drag shows together?
Yeah. We're like, I'm always like with those two. Yeah.
Sugar Bones, yes. Yeah. I was like trying to think, yeah.
Yeah, Sugar Bones and my friend Eleni. So it's like the three of us were like besties, so.
Nice. Well, that's gonna be fun. Are you gonna be there like the whole entire time, or are you gonna like break it up?
I'm not sure what my schedule is gonna be like, but we're going to go for a week, so from like the 5th to the 12th, and like I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
Sweet.
Yeah, I know like the X-Biz, like the X3 show, like they asked me to like be there, like I guess like saying hi to fans, but like I don't know how many of my fans are coming out to LA, so like I don't know how poppin' I'm gonna be. Like, so I think I might just be like I'm gonna be here like for a couple hours, like at this time, and like not be there the entire day. I don't know. I feel like I don't know the last like award show like this I went to was AVN, and like I was like I didn't need to be there that long. I could have been like out doing like exploring and stuff like that, which that means more to me than like sitting and just kind of like standing around, because I know like I'm not like a mega like porn star, so it's not like I'm gonna have like a 1,000 line of people like waiting to see me. So I'm like I don't need to be there that long. So I think I might just like do like a couple hours each day or something like that, and then obviously the awards. So
yeah, same. Yeah. No, same. Especially like I feel like it's funny because I always feel like I'm such a nobody. So when I'm asked to do these type of things, I'm like, why me? Like, how do you know who I am, for one? Like, okay. And then I think you want me to be there all day.
I love X-Biz, and I'm so glad they like invited people, you know, like you and I, who aren't like just like we're not like the top porn stars of today, but like we've made impacts in our own ways, and that's good, and we should be invited. But also, I hope they wouldn't expect us to stay the whole day, and if they do get offended at that, then that's on them and not understanding. like as the concept of like
100%
audiences,
on that.
but yeah,
I mean, like, listen, first of all,
no, they'll be fine with it. Thanks,
100%. I mean, I'm not a porn star. Okay. Yeah, thanks Xmas and E-Play and Minivids. Oh my god, that's such a tongue twister to like implant that in my brain. But I'm very appreciative for considering little of me, so thank you. But that makes me very excited because I get like social anxiety, and if I don't know people at these large events that like I actually know, it makes me like, and I go by myself, I get so nervous. Like, oh my god, I don't want to do this, but like I need to do this, but like, am I gonna know anybody? Like, who am I gonna hang out with? Like, I'm gonna stay in my hotel the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt.
So, yeah, that makes me really excited.
Yeah, I feel like that's how I felt when I went to AVN. But then, like, so many people were like, "Oh my god!" Like just like fellow models were like, "Oh my god!" Like I know you, and I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you!" Like, and like I think like my notoriety online has grown like a lot since then. Like that was like my first year in the industry, like fresh, like fresh meat. So like my notoriety online has grown like a lot, and I think like I'm probably like I know that I'll know more people like in terms of industry people there. So that's exciting. I'm like pretty excited about that.
Wait, how long have you been in the industry?
Like 3-4 years. Around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about AVN like 2018?
Yeah. 2017? Or it might have been 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was like the end of my first year, I think. Yeah.
Before, so you went to, so the same year you went to NOLA and AVNs?
Oh God, no! I think
because that's 2019.
Okay, it might have been 2018 then. I have no idea. My memory is so bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, see, that's what happens. Time, like, I see, where the hell does time go? Like, I don't understand the concept of time because it flies by, but you don't realize that it flies by. That's the crazy part.
Okay, no, it was.
But, okay, because I was going to say, I know that you have not been in it for a year.
It was 2019. I'm just looking up right now. It was 2019 that I went to AVN. But it was like a year.
Wow.
It was a year prior to that. So that was like, so when I met you, I was like in my second year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay. Yeah. I was like, damn, girl, you fucking trailblazing if that was your first year. I was gonna be like, god damn. Okay. Because, like, when I met you, you were already super big. And then now, like, you fast forward now, and it's like, holy shit, that growth from then to now is
I know.
even bigger, which is such a great thing. So great. Award-winning. Great. Thank you very much. Let's add that in there. Like, she has trophies in her room from multiple platforms. Let's just put that out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for having me up.
You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I'm just speaking facts out here. That's all.
Yeah.
Straight facts, no cap, period. Do you have any, like, personal goals that you want to reach, like whether if it's in the industry, not in the industry, like just in life, like for 2022?
Ooh, I mean, I really want to see like my podcast like launch and succeed. That would be like, and get to a place where it's like consistent and like it's working itself, and like I don't have to worry about that because like right now, because I'm just launching it, I'm like. Luckily, like I'm hiring my friend Grant to like do like my editing and stuff like that, so I don't have to worry about that. But I kind of want it to be like a better oiled machine like in the future, and I just can't wait to see it like progress to that point where like we are recording the episodes and then launching them at a certain time, and like all the graphics are done and like all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see it be like in the middle of having it done, because I feel like when you're going week by week, it's not like I feel like launching it is like such a big like thing, and then once you're in there, it's gonna get like easier. So I can't wait till I get to that point, and then it's running itself. What else do I want to do? I mean, hopefully some more travel. I'm really excited to go down to LA. So yeah, just excited about that really. But I don't know about other goals. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple like things that like I have on the docket for like next September that I can't like really talk about, but they're like pretty big like stuff that like I've been like I'm really excited about. And that like I think will be pretty like I don't know, not life changing, but like I think it will kind of like push me into like a direction like elevate my like brand more, I guess. So I'm excited about those too. But yeah.
Oh, you might have to text me what that is in September because I'm nosy.
It will definitely be like announced. I think probably in this next summer. But yeah, good things.
Nice.
Yeah,
she's coming out with her own makeup brand, guys.
That is so funny. I'm like a beauty guru. Like, hey.
Yeah, she's coming out with her eyeshadow palette. You know, she's linking up with Morphe, but
that would be so funny. That would be so funny.
Yo, if that's fucking it, and I see in September that you're launching an eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna be deceased.
It would be so extra funny because I barely wear eyeshadow. Like, I only wear eyeshadow on special occasions. I'm not a daily eyeshadow wearer. So, like, it'd be really funny.
I mean, that's usually how, like, a lot of those collabs are anyways. Like, they don't even use their own product half the time. So, but that's great. I think with your podcast, honestly, you're going to do so well. And I keep saying that, but I really mean that because you already are naturally like an organized person. And the hardest part is just launching it. Like, that's going to be the most stressful part. That's going to be the most anxiety bearing. That's going to be where you're going to have the most breakdowns. It's just launching it. But once you release your first episode or like even your trailer and that day comes, you're going to feel all this pressure come off. And then it will eventually just start to like run itself. And then you're going to be more so like wanting to get more guests and wanting to plan a second season before your first season is even done because you're going to prep yourself ahead. So trust me, you're going to have a breakdown for sure. You're going to have a lot of technical issues for sure. You're going to probably say, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore for sure. But once it launches, girl, and your idea, girl, man, I'm about to steal that idea. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
But seriously, though, you're going to do just great.
I appreciate you thinking that I'm an organized person because I am not, but I try to seem like I am. But I think I'll be okay.
Yeah. That I'm probably not going to be okay giggle you just had is hilarious. And, you know, if you need help with anything, girl, you have my number, just text me. Like, you know what I do for a living. Like, girl, you need help, I got you. Any resources I can give you to help make it easier for you, like, I got you 100%. You need some graphics? Bitch, I got you. Like, whatever you need, I got you.
You're amazing.
We're a team out here.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I think I'm pretty, like, set. It's just, like, doing it, and, like, getting it done. That's essentially what it's coming down to right now. That's
the hardest part, like the most important part.
Yeah.
But okay, I want to transition, and I want to play like a little game.
Okay.
Because I love playing games on here. Because why not? Give me a second. I know I have it pulled up. Let me go through my 500 open tabs right now. I'm not even exaggerating. I have 500 open tabs on my phone.
Oh my god, I could never. I'm always deleting my tabs.
It's just I just feel like I'm gonna need to go back to it one day, and like, I don't know, and then I never do, and then I end up opening the same tab again because I didn't think I had it open. It's just my brain.
Totally.
Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna play Truth or Dare, except without the dare necessarily, because like there's only so much you can do as far as like a dare, unless like I like make you take a shot or something, but that's like even if you wanted to, I don't know. But I'll ask the questions and then you can tell. Like, we'll play it traditional. We'll just fucking go with the flow.
Okay. I'm easy. I am easy. I'm easy.
Okay. All right, let's see. Truth or dare?
Truth. Because I don't know what the dare will be. So
Okay. What is the last lie you've told?
Oh, that's gonna be really tough.
She said tough.
Well, yeah, I'm someone who, like, in terms of communication with people, like, I try to be, like, as straightforward as possible, and because, like, I think communication is such an important thing to people, I'm gonna try to look through my Instagram messages, though. Oh, you know, it's probably something, like...
Okay.
It was probably something on, like, OnlyFans, like, hyping somebody up. That's... Like,
I was gonna say.
it was probably like,
I was like, it's gonna be a fan.
Yeah, potentially that. I don't know specifically what,
okay.
But I'm sure it was like something in that area.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll go with truth as well. And I actually lied to my mom earlier today and told her I was dealing with my dogs when I was actually laying in bed watching TV because I just didn't want to talk to her.
That's like a white lie. You're fine with that. I think that's acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Name someone you've pretended to like but actually couldn't stand.
Oh my god! That's so aggressive. Okay, I'm gonna try to think. Someone I pretended to like. It's tough. I have such a bad memory. If I don't like someone, I just typically don't associate with them. So I'm trying to think of like. Oh, okay. I won't say their name. But just up.
Okay.
Let's just
Can
say,
you text it to me? Because I really want to know.
It's no one you know. It's just someone in my personal life. No one in the industry.
Gotcha. Okay.
In the industry, that is aggressive. Let me look. Let's look at Twitter if we're talking to industry people. I'm usually pretty. Oh, Twitter is glitching right now.
Let's do industry.
I'm usually pretty.
Is it? Let me see. She's gonna say me. She's trying to beat around the bush.
That's so rude.
She's like, Sasha.
I usually see
like, I don't like this bitch, but like.
I'm trying to think. Let me do a quick scroll on Twitter. But like, usually if I don't like someone, I usually just like quietly set my distance, if that makes sense.
I could see that. You're not really a catty person, so.
No, yeah, it's like if I don't like your vibe, I'm like, I just will choose to not interact unless like I'm like so in I guess in the most like way I can answer this question is like when I'm put in a situation where I have to interact with someone that I don't enjoy, then I will be nice to them because I don't think there's any reason to be like mean to anybody because like what is that going to get us through? But I think that some people take that as like me like really liking them because I'm just like a positive person. So they're like, oh, you must like really enjoy me. Like, let's like either like make content together or whatever. And I'm like, oh no, I was just being like my blanket statement nice, not like I want to be best friends nice, you know? Like, you know, like so I think that like that would be the most that's kind of common, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a name. I can't.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. That's good. Nice dodged bullet for sure on that one. Very politically stated. I'm here for it though. I'm pretty blunt and forward, so if I don't like you, you're gonna know I don't like you. I'm nice, but like I just don't like pretending to have conversations with people if I don't like them. I'll just walk away from the conversation before I just interact. Or I'll just tell you, like, I don't like you. And then
I love that. Yeah.
I'm a little bit more mean. I'm a little bit more harsh. I'm a very sweet person, but I'm also like, I just...
Yeah.
You know, I've been learning to break that habit of mine because it just has got me fucked over so much throughout my life that I'm kind of slowly like, listen, I'm a very sweet person. If you're in my circle, I will ride for you. I will die for you. I will give you the shirt off my back. I'll give you my last dollar. But if you continuously fuck me over or if you impact me in a severely negative way, I don't give a fuck who you are. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
You're going to see another side of me.
Yeah, there we go. You deserve that. Protect your peace.
So, we are people pleasers to a certain point, though.
To a certain point.
We're not pushovers. There's a difference.
No, there's a difference. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let me find some less like problematic questions, please. Okay, I feel like I know the answer to this, but what's the craziest thing you've done on public transportation?
Craziest thing I've done on public transportation? I guess.
Yeah, and I think public transportation is like airplane, bus.
Oh, okay, airplane. I forgot about airplanes. Yeah, I mean, I tried to film a porn video on a plane once, but it wasn't very successful.
A Mile High video?
Kind of, but the thing is, like, I don't know if the planes are, I think they're just, like, the planes that we have in Canada are, like, different than the ones in the US, because, like, our bathrooms, like, in our planes in Canada are, like, so small that there's not even, like, a way you could get, like, any of your ass in, like, a photo, and I'm not just for people with gigantic asses like myself, but, like, any good ass pic in a Canadian airplane, I don't think I've seen one. So, like, when I see people in the States who are, like, they're like, oh, I'm like taking a trip, and it's like this huge. I'm like, that bathroom is gigantic in the plane. I'm like, there's so much you could do there. Here, there's like, it's literally like you have like you're like it's like so small. You can't do anything. You just can go to the bathroom. You can take your titties out, I guess, but that's it.
I mean, I've been on a lot of airplanes in the U.S. and those bathrooms are small as fuck, and they're dirty. Like, yeah. I always look at people and I'm like, how are you getting naughty in this bathroom? Like, I can't. But I guess I will find out how small Canadian airplane bathrooms are. Actually, I probably won't, because I don't use, like, the bathrooms on the airplane. Like, I just hold it until I get off, if I have to go.
Yeah, fair.
I'm just, like, a germaphobe like that. So,
that's fair. Understandable, yeah.
And your ass is huge. Like, you definitely could not get it in there. Like,
no, it's
you need 2 bathroom stalls to get all that ass in like one photo. I mean, I've never done anything like on an actual like wait, let me not lie. I think I might have sucked some guy's dick when I was in like middle school on like the school bus.
Oh my
I'm
god,
pretty sure
that
I've
is
done that. I'm
wild.
100%
Oh my
sure I've
god.
done that.
Middle
Yeah,
school.
I
Wow.
was very, very wild.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I started being sexual at a very young age. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done that because, like, in my adult life, I've had sex at an Amtrak station, which is like a Greyhound type of like a
Okay.
train, basically that like is really, yeah, like one of those.
Yeah.
In broad daylight, I had sex like waiting
Oh
for
my
like where
god. Good
the
for
cars are
you.
parked near the railroads, like on the bench. Yeah, it was great. I was like, wow, I've never done something like this before. But yeah, I was a hoe. I'm very boring and tame now, ironically. But yes. Let's see. Let's do a couple more. Ooh, what's one thing you would do if you knew there were no consequences?
None? Oh. Uh,
None.
I mean, I feel like stealing a bunch of money would be nice. But that's like that's a practical answer. It's
Yo.
not very chaotic of me. I don't know. It's really tough. No consequence. Like I already do like a lot of things where I'm like if I see someone cute on TikTok, I will absolutely go to their Instagram, like their pictures. If I think they're really cute, I'll definitely send them to you. I'm gonna shoot your shot type of person. So like, and I guess like not there would be bad consequences
Okay.
to that, but the consequences like in like real time would be like embarrassment or like I don't know, just yeah, that kind of stuff, like shame. I'm a very shameless person. So I guess the only type of consequences would be like social or like law, like with the law type of consequences that I would want to avoid. No, no, that's a really that's a
Okay.
good one. I'm gonna think on that. Okay.
Very tamed. Wow.
Yeah, maybe like oh, you know what's this another practical one, but like to be able to take like butt pics and like titty pics, like not in public locations, but like in places that like you know like that are like out in public, but maybe not in front of like 1,000 people, but like in public areas without like a consequence. That would be nice. Because like, or just to like have nobody walk by, or to like be
Mm,
able to take more sexual pictures in like other places that aren't my home. Be nice.
gotcha. Wow, your answer is so vanilla. It makes me feel like I should be locked up and like
what do you want to do without a
like
consequence?
a like this is like the easiest thing too. Like I would murder someone and I would rob a bank and still like I would become a billionaire and I would murder like
Who are you
multiple
murdering?
people if I knew
Why?
there were no consequences.
Oh, I guess like evil people. I guess yeah, like there. I guess there's
I mean,
some evil people out
I
there.
have a list.
Yeah, okay, I love that for you. No, that's great. I didn't even consider that.
That's what I would do. But FBI agent, if you're listening, that's only like a hypothetical thing. Like I wouldn't
Hypothetical
actually
joke.
go out and like murder someone or rob a bank. Like, you know, don't come knocking on my door, okay? Like, unless you're telling me there's no
That's
consequences and letting me know that I have the green light, then next question.
next question.
I'm already telling people I'll murder someone.
That's funny.
um, let's see. Have you ever considered cheating on a partner?
No, I've never been in a monogamous relationship, so I have never been an opportunity to consider to cheat. But I do have feelings about.
Feel that. No.
I do have some, like, I don't know, thoughts about how, like, sometimes cheating is, like, beneficial, but, like, I think there's in some situations where I'm like, okay, like, in yours, like, in case by case basis, I think some people should be allowed to cheat. I don't know.
Okay. See, cheating for me is like, it's just kind of dumb because I feel like if you just talk to your partner and you tell them how you're feeling, like, there's no need to, like, beat around the bush about it. I used to be in a very, like, I really grew up thinking that monogamy was the right way and the only way, and that there should be one partner at one time, and, like, you shouldn't be with multiple people even when you, like, I was very much so, like, monogamy based. And then I got into a relationship where he opened up my mind and showed me a part of me that I never knew that I actually needed for myself. And now it's like non-monogamy is what's important to me and to whomever I will date or be with, because I'm a bisexual woman, and being with a man, I also need to be with a woman. But if I'm with a woman, I also need to be with a man, and it can't just be one at a time.
Yeah, totally.
So, and I've been cheated on before, and cheating fucking sucks. Like, it's probably one of the most shittiest things you can do to someone.
No, I like.
So it's kind of like, fuck that. Like, I know what that feels like.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. And, like,
I mean,
I'm someone who values communication more than anything ever. But at the same time, like, I think about, like, people, like, we're in a very progressive bubble, like, politically, like, socially, like, we're sex workers who are, like, queer and, like, horny and whatever. But there's, like, a lot of people who, like, I try to think of, like, one of my, like, I've got a friend who, like, lived in, like, lives in a conservative area, was with a husband that, like, would never have considered, like, any alternative, like, and which is unfortunately, like, a good chunk of, like, Western society is, like, very still ingrained in, like, the nuclear family structure of, like, this is how it should be, and, like, these are types of relationships we should have. This is how we should look to other people, and, like, those people, like, there's so many people who still exist like that, and I feel like so, like, on the example of, like, my friend that I'm talking about, like, was, like, in a very toxic relationship with her partner, but couldn't just, like for the sake of, like, her family and her children and, like, just, like, her, like, the environment that she was in, she needed to be able to, like, get a release by cheating, and, like, to be able to kind of, like, connect with parts of herself in order to get that confidence to be able to, like, leave him eventually, right? So, like, I think in some, like, because, like, oftentimes we think cheating, we just think scumbag guy or scumbag girl or scumbag person who's doing this out of, like, this villainess of their heart, but, like, sometimes, like, if you're in a situation, especially when you're legally connected to someone and there's no other, like, you, like, leaving them is maybe too big of, like, a thing. Maybe you don't even want to leave them, but you don't want to lose them. Maybe cheating is, like, right in that sense because it's protecting, like it's protecting something that you don't want to fall apart potentially. But, like, I know it's a very nuanced discussion because, like, I completely, like, agree that, like, if you and your partner, like, you should, in the ideal world, have communications, be able to talk to yourself about that and be able to open to new experiences. But, like, unfortunately, that's not, like, a reality for, like, a lot of people. And that, like, that makes me sad. Yeah. But also, if someone cheated on you, fuck them.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
yeah.
1,000%. Like, okay, so the last time I was cheated on, I was with my high school boyfriend, and I had moved from LA to the Bay Area, and we decided to try this, like, long distance relationship, which, I mean, those things don't ever fucking work out. But I was just graduated high school. I was young and dumb. And I found out he cheated on me with a guy. And I was like, whoa. Like, that made me feel as a woman, like, really shitty. And then I was just like, well, now that I look back at it now, I'm like, okay, I kind of can see the flags, but if you just would have talked to me about the situation, and two, I'm like 6 hours away from you, driving wise, you, like, that's even more shittier because you know I'm not gonna ever find out unless someone tells me.
Of course.
But like, I just feel like it doesn't make any sense to me. But I was very much so in a bubble of where it was one person at one time always, and that's just how it was supposed to be. And like a man and a woman, you get married and then that's just how it is. Now, like 10, 11 years later, my mind is so much more open to the idea of no understanding that as people, I don't think we are meant to be monogamous. And I say that because you're always going to be sexually attracted to someone because that is how our body and our brain works. Just because you're with someone doesn't mean you automatically are no longer attracted to someone ever again for as long as you're in a relationship. It just comes about communication with the partner that you're with and finding the right partner that is also kind of on the same mind frame as yours. And then getting into the industry and really being able to explore my bisexuality to a much larger scheme, it really was like, okay, I'm really understanding more too as I get older and being in this industry how non-monogamous people really are, because there's just no way people are meant to be monogamous. It just doesn't work. That's why cheating happens. People like to say it's, oh, because my wife did this and she made me go cheat on her. Or my husband did this and I cheated on him because of this. No, it's because you're sexually attracted to someone else and you want to act on those thoughts. But we're brainwashed to think that monogamy is the only way, that we're afraid to want to communicate to our partners about wanting to explore this other realm of who you are as a person because it's not socially acceptable.
Yeah,
that's like my elaborate take on cheating.
Yeah, that makes so much sense because like we're so socialized to have like this certain ideal of like how romantic relationships should be. And I read there's a really good like audio bit. I have to find it and send it to you of like it was some people on a podcast explaining, like, it was called like decolonizing sexuality, I think, like that. I think that was the podcast name. But they were having a conversation about how like the idea of like polyamory or non-monogamy, that should be like kind of like, instead of just like looking at like, I don't know, the idea that's represented in media, which is like usually like, you know, like this like white cis like couple with like two girls and a guy, but like it's realistically it's kind of like going back to like our need for community and our need for sharing diverse roles in relationships, and how like it shouldn't just be like, oh, this is just a fun thing about sex, but it's a fun thing about like it should be like something that's like, no, like we're not, like, I think as people, just like you said, we're not meant to be like monogamous. We're not meant to just it's not meant to just be two people in a house raising a family. It should be like we should go back to like that need for communities, which like, you know, Indigenous people and like Black people have like, you know, crafted for us, or like we're existed in communities to be like, this is the person whose job is to do this, and this is the person's job is to do this, and let's rely on the people around us to kind of like raise our kids to like live fulfilling lives in other ways too. And I think that's really fascinating to me because like I'm like realistically, like, you know, we shouldn't have to just be like, it's this guy and me and like all of the responsibility of whatever's going on in our life is just on us. But it's like, no, like look to your friends, like look to your like other people, and if you're dating other people too, like those people will eventually, you know, enrich your life in other ways and contribute to like your life financially or like physically, spiritually, sexually, mentally. Like it's like kind of like, I don't know, building that community out, which I think is like, I don't know, it's a very interesting idea. Very interesting idea.
Yeah, the fact that you kind of spoke on community too, and getting something different from each person is also very important, because you might feel a much deeper connection on a spiritual level, like you said, with someone else, but you want that intimate and that mental connection with someone else, because it's like one as I learned, one person can't give you everything that you need. It's not possible. And to expect that of one person is going to put strain on a relationship and eventually will drive two people apart because you're asking for something that they just cannot truly give you. Like, I'm a very, very emotional person. Like, my emotions are like, I can't hide them. And I am very sensitive to my emotions as well, too. And right now I'm with someone that is more blunt with their emotions and aren't really sugarcoating. And it's like, I can't expect you to be sensitive and emotional because that's not how you are. But I can go to a friend that will maybe kind of baby my feelings a little bit more or nurture them, knowing that I need a little bit more tenderness. And that's okay. Like, you can't get everything out of one person.
Of course.
It's not possible.
Of course. No.
Get over it, America.
Get over it, America. Yeah. That's so totally true. And like, that's like, if you look at it, that's why we have multiple different friends. We're like, you're my one friend for life. And like, that's it. Like, we have friendships because they serve different needs. And it's like, why should we be expecting not that from like romantic partners? Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's wild. Yeah, you're right. Like, we put everything, like, you should be supplying us with like some like financial dependency, emotional dependency in different areas, like physical dependency, and like just like a whole myriad of other things. But it's like, no, like one person isn't meant to give that. That's not healthy for you to expect all like you to match up in all of those areas. It's like, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't. And I think we should normalize too people having different friends for different like purposes, because I don't think people realize that either when it comes to friendships that your friendship with someone is not going to be the same as it is with another person. And that took me a long time to understand and realize too. But like there's like some people that just always want to party. I'm not really much of a partier anymore, but if I ever want to be in that environment, I know who to contact and who to hit up. Then there's like friends that are really nerdy and super creative that can understand my creative side more, and like I can pick their brains on business ideas. There's those type of friends. Like there's just different. I think people just have to really normalize that it's not healthy to put so much and expect it from one person, because that's how you get hurt. You end up hurting yourself at the end of it, because it's just mentally not possible. We're all different and it won't work.
You said it all.
Man, who knew a cheating question would take it to this point?
A deep dive.
Right. A very elaborate answer to would you ever cheat on someone? Let's see. What is your biggest regret in life, if you have one?
Oh, I wish I started in this industry a bit sooner than I did. And the only reason I say that, because I'm someone who I'm like a no regrets type of like person. Like I all of my decisions are I live my life by like doing what I want, and I always take like the gut feeling, like need an opportunity. So I don't regret a lot of things, but I think like when I was first exploring my sexuality out of high school, I had like just moved to the city that I live in now, and I moved like pretty far away. Like I used to live on the East Coast, and now I live in Ontario. And I was like, I just like lost like, or I just had sex for the first time because I was a late bloomer in that sense. Like I had had my first kiss and lost like I had sex for the first time at 18. So I was like new to like exploring that kind of stuff, even though I was a very sexual person by myself beforehand, but it was like interacting with other people was new for me. And like I spent like a lot of free time on Tinder, like literally doing, I'm not kidding, like Skype shows basically to people for free. And I'm like, why was I like, I'm like, do you know, I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm an idiot. I should have been like camming. I didn't realize. Like, I just like it makes me, I'm like, I just want to go back and just shake myself. Cause literally I just remember it, like, I had like this walk-in closet in my student house. And like, I would like just be sitting down like in there and like, just like literally like, just like fingering myself on webcam for random Tinder guys. And I'm like, why was I doing that? Why was I doing that?
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
I literally should have just been on fucking Chatterbait and she started to do it. Then I would have had much more money much sooner. And I'm like, oh, I could have like literally like been a different person. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. And like, who knows what my life would be like now. But like, also like, I'm very happy with the life I have now. So like, we're here because that I did do that at the time. So yeah, it's
true.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone on a site called Chat Roulette? Or like Roulette?
Roulette. I've only recently been on there. I wasn't doing that when I was like that age, thank God. But I've ventured into it semi-recently because some of my TikTok followers were like, oh my God, you should like go on and like do a live and like do Chat Roulette at the same time. And I was like, I was too scared. I was like, no. I saw some things I didn't want to see and I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine.
That's hilarious. Because when you talk about your Tinder story, that was me with Chat Roulette, except I wasn't of 18 years of age. So technically, legally, it was wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of my like, but like I sit here and I think too, like, damn, like what if I just, and this was before I even really knew about like the industry. It was just me and my friends. We were very we were those cliche like LA Hollywood kids, and I hate to say that because it just sounds so bad, but that's how it was. We just had all this time and freedom and access to things that we shouldn't have at our ages, and you end up on Chat Roulette doing what I do for a living now, but but
too much freedom.
Tinder, like I just never thought to utilize. Way too much freedom. I don't know how I survived, and I say that because there's a lot of times that I could have ended up getting like human trafficked. I could have gotten like murdered. Like it was just too much freedom for a child.
Yeah.
That it was.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was like, where the fuck was my mom? Like, it was like that type of thing. Like, where the fuck was your mom? Like, where are your parents? Well, my mom was working, and my dad, I don't know, motherfucker. So I just had all this freedom.
Yeah.
Do
totally. Whatever. Totally. That's wild.
So yeah, that's hilarious. Yo, I'm gonna have to do a whole episode on that because
story for a different
time. No, maybe not.
Maybe that's a little too vulnerable.
It might be a little too heartbreaking. Like, what the fuck? No wonder. Oh, now it makes sense why you do sex work for a living. Then, like, it'll be like one of those fucking stupid ass responses. But Tinder, okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting that you chose Tinder, though, to, like, do Skype shows with, because...
Well, it wasn't...
Who the fuck would think to use Tinder of all things?
It wasn't intentional. Like, it was, like, I was just horny, and I was also, like, fucking guys, too, but, like, there was guys who were like, oh, like, we should just webcam, and it was, like, their suggestion I would do it. Like, so, like, it was, like, it's just chaotic. It was just chaotic.
Okay.
Sexting random people, like, just, like, really going off.
Gotcha.
Deep end, yeah. It was wild times.
So, would you say that type of situation is what got you wanting to do sex work, or was that just something that just happened at an early age, and then later on in life, you found sex work?
Yeah, so I had a sex blog that I ran, like, so which was inspired by those, like, those moments of like finding my sexuality in my early 20s. Yeah, and so I started writing about my experiences, and I started doing sex toy reviews because of that. And then because of that, I was like, oh, like I was kind of like in like sex work spaces a little bit more, like on Twitter, had like sex work mutuals, had people who knew who cammed and who did porn and stuff like that, and knew a lot of sex educators. And then through that, I was like, oh, like I had fans who would like guys who would read my blog too, and they would be like, oh, like, you know, like I'll like buy like your photos or buy videos or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll do this. And then I started a Patreon through that, and then eventually I was like, oh my god, like ManyVids exists, and like sort like online websites where you can just upload your videos and sell them like to like already existing audiences. I was like, why haven't I been doing this? Like it's kind of like that. So then I started like my Gwen Adora like brand, I guess, at that point, and then yeah, it's been sailing from there. So it's been kind of like like everything like added up, I guess, over the time. But yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Well, you needed those Tinder guys then to get the blog started to get you where you are now. So full circle, I guess.
Yeah, definitely everything influenced each other and kind of like pushed it to fruition. So
all right, let's do like 2 more questions. Let me find a good one. Ooh, okay. What is your biggest fear in life?
Ooh. I'm scared of not death, but dying. Like the final moments of your life. Like the idea of like realizing that you're not going to exist anymore. That's what I'm scared of.
So is it more so of like just having, like, if you died in your sleep, would that be more peaceful, or is it just the simple fact of the unknown?
Yeah, it's definitely, the fact of the unknown, I think, is pretty, like, or just, like, yeah, it makes me sad that I'm, like, because, like, I don't know, who knows when I would die, but, just the idea that, like, I can't, like, I don't know, complete the, like, not that I would die soon, but, like, just, like, that, you know, like, the time that you see your friends for the last time, or like that you'll, like, you know, you'll never get to do XYZ again, or like, it just, I'm like, I don't know, it just makes me, I'm like obviously humans aren't meant to be immortal for a fucking reason, and thank God we're not, because that would be so exhausting. But like, I don't know, just something about it, I'm like, it's the idea of realizing that you're never gonna, be able to, like, you know, see your lover again, or like kiss your family members. It's like really sad. I'm like, so.
I can see that the concept of life and death is really complex to me. Just the simple fact of, like, a cis woman being able to give life. I still don't understand. Like, I know how it works, but I still mentally can't wrap my head around like how.
Yeah, you're like
a baby.
We
like
produce
a human.
Consciousness. Yeah, it's wild. We produce consciousness.
It doesn't make sense to me. And then to know that we are going to die at some point of our lives, like we that's just, we're born to live, to die.
Yeah.
And death is a very fearful thing because, like you said, you don't get to say goodbye to people. You don't get to continue to live what you've been living for the last X amount of years. And then it's, what if you have a traumatic death and you have to go through like feeling everything as well. Yeah. And then it's the unknown of, do I become a spirit? Do I get to see the world from like an outside view, or is it just pure blackness? Like, do I know I'm dead? It's like,
that's the thing. It's like there's like a lot of possibilities, but I'm like, even if it was the best case scenario of whatever is there, I'm like, I would not want to like end my current life for the best case scenario. You know, like I'm like, I still like, I don't want to change up what I got going on here. You know, like if this makes sense. But I think like
exactly.
I've listened to like a lot of like I understand like what your brain does like when you die is like the chemicals that are released so that you like you end up when you are dying, you like, because the chemicals that are released in your brain, you're very like happy. It's like a drug because like, so it's like, because it's protecting like you from like the trauma of like the death experience. So like, that's why people kind of say they're like, oh, like they like they flash back through their entire life, but it's because they're experiencing all this like these happy endorphins that are being pumped through them. So like, which is good. I've like, it sounds great. Like it sounds fine, but at the same time, I'm like the idea of not existing anymore. That's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, it's not the fear of dying, but it's the fear of not existing. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
And it's weird because when you're dead, we assume we don't know. Like there's no emotions, there's no feelings because you're dead. So it's kind of like you don't care if you exist or not because you're dead.
Yeah, which is great.
But it's
now
like,
I care now that I'm not
I don't know.
It's
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's wild.
Right. But with the chemical and the chemical imbalance, I think that might be like a case by case thing, because there's been a few times where I've actually was like in the process of dying.
Oh my God.
And it was painful. Like I saw a light, but like I didn't have like a flashback of my life, or like I didn't feel happy. Like if anything, I was more so traumatized. Like I knew I was dying, so it gave me even more anxiety, and I think it was like speeding it up because I was like, oh my God, I'm dying type of thing. So it's really like scary.
But you're not dead. You're not dead. Maybe, so you didn't die.
Am alive.
So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? That's the amazing thing.
I didn't die. I definitely got my life saved. That's for sure. But it was like the process of it, and then it's like it was just a weird thing. That's how I know but when I die, I would prefer to die in my sleep.
Just to not know.
Because then I'm more like, sleep is the cousin to death, because your body is at this, I mean, I'm not like a doctor, but I know it gets to this very low point where you're very close to death because your heart it starts beating at a very slower pace.
Yeah.
To allow the brain, it allows the brain to like function and like your organs to kind of repair, so the heartbeat has to slow down, and it's very close to death, as to why a lot of people have died in their death because of it, or in their sleep because of it. And you don't feel anything because your consciousness is gone, so you don't even know you're asleep until you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my God, I fell asleep.
So nice. I love that.
I'm awake.
Yeah,
like God. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. I know. I've
no,
also...
that scares me. I hate falling asleep.
Oh, I like it. I'm like, because then you don't have to think about it.
It scares me.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I think like also I've heard...
yes.
I've heard it's also like, you know how like before we were born, we don't like have any recollection of that before we were birthed. Like that's what people say is like could be after death, like the same kind of like blankness, which is kind of comforting. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not ready to go yet. Maybe that's.
Yeah, that's actually because like the earliest thing I can remember is probably when I was 4. But that's only because they say when something traumatic happens to you at the earliest age, you just remember from there on specifically, because it's like trauma attached to it.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
But it's like, I can't think back to when I was like 1 or 2, or like even like being in the womb. Like that to me is non-existent. Like I was ever in like my mother's womb and was attached to her umbilical cord.
Right? We don't have any
I have
memory
no
of that.
recollection of that. And you would think that you would.
Or our little body being
at
like,
all.
conceived and like made in like to like a human form. And so like it's like
Right.
we were there the whole we were there. Our body experienced all of that. But like it's like we don't know any about it. Thank God. But how horrifying would it be?
None of it. Can you imagine how traumatic? Oh,
we'd all come out so fucked in the head.
When I was in my mom's womb,
the things she
like
would say.
my mom used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Like, weird shit.
Yeah.
But
And
that is
much to ponder. Truly.
Yeah. It is. Death in life is it's a complex thing that none of us, like, I didn't ask to be here, you didn't ask to be here. I definitely didn't ask to pay fucking bills. If I would have known that, I would have said, nah, you could swallow me. Like, swallow me.
Swallow me.
But it is very complex, and to know that at one point humans will be extinct is also a very weird thing to think of, because people like to think that there will always be humans on Earth, but I truly believe that we will be extinct at one point.
No, yeah, that's
and we'll be like wild dinosaurs, like
and no one will know our fucking stories.
There were dinosaurs.
Yeah, like no one will know our stories, and that's the thing, because it's like as humans, like one of our biggest like primal needs, I would say, is to tell, like, to share stories and to pass on, like, history is such like an important aspect, and like sharing history and sharing like our knowledge, and like the idea it's all just gonna be like see images, like nothing exists, none of our society will exist, and like maybe people will like, or whoever the fuck alien will come over like after years and millions of years after our humanity's death, and then they'll find like some like weird like iPhones that they need to somehow like power, like to get back a little bit of information on somebody's like story, and maybe our history will be told through that, or like information on the internet. But who knows if like that will be accessible at all? It could just all be lost. All of I think of all the like the concept that like so many hours of stuff are uploaded to like YouTube, like every like hour or whatever. Like it's like so much information is uploaded on the internet, not just on YouTube, but on every site. And like that's where we're storing our stories and shit like that. And it's like, nope, that could just not be accessed ever again. And humans
be gone.
Yeah, and we won't be here to tell our stories. And it's like,
there was this It's like what we're doing is pointless. Like, it's like, what for? Because no one may find it. But then we think about caveman days, and we learned a lot about how people during that time lived, and how we actually were able to get our resources and build upon. So I think it's like it's all connected in a way, but it's just a thought of knowing that humanity will be extinct at one point. And people think, oh, that's not possible, but then I always refer to dinosaurs, and when you hear of dinosaur, you think like, oh, that's a fantasy, and it's like, no, that was a real living thing that was on Earth that became extinct before we came around, and it's because we didn't see it or witness it, it's a hard time to kind of believe it, but they were here. Like, it's crazy. Like, it blows my mind to think of stuff like that.
And it's actually fascinating,
weird, but
because like dinosaurs, like, I mean, I'm assuming they didn't have like a level of consciousness the way that we do, but like so I don't know. I mean, we don't know what a situation would be where like we are gone, and like our we've documented so much of like what humanity is, and like the existence of humans online, but like what if like then if the next people just can't access that, then it's like they might think of us like as dinosaurs, like because like or like as like something as mythical as a dinosaur, because they weren't able to like see the information. They were just able to like pick up our bones and be like, I guess this is what they look like. Wild to think about.
Right. It is wild. There is this movie I watched a few months ago. I can't remember I think it's called Voyagers. I could be wrong. I'll have to look it up. But it was basically a group that would have kids, like very young kids, starting as young as like 5 or 6. They would put them all on this ship and they would go into space. And their main purpose was to grow up, have sex with one another, to create generations onto the spaceship to then ship back onto Earth. So that way, like, they could basically control like the population of it to make for sure that Earth would never like lose humanity.
Wow.
And the reason why they would take the kids and take them off of space, off of Earth, is so that way they never got that humanity to them. They never felt love. They never felt a connection to things. They never missed. Yeah, it was like a really weird thing. I mean, it kind of made sense psychologically because, yeah, if you're born on Earth and you live as a human, you naturally, those emotions form. But if you don't know about that, you don't know what you're missing. So it made sense to like remove them. But I mean, it's fucked up. It's children that like you're essentially breeding to keep the population going. And they would, the first kids, it was like three cycles. So it's like the kids, they became adults, they would have kids, and then their kids would have kids. And then, so the great grandkids would be the ones to go to Earth. And then the children and the grandparents would end up dying. Like, they would die on Earth. So they would never, like, get to see anything beyond. And then the cycle would just keep going. And it was weird to think of it because I was like, whoa, that's fucked up. But then I was like, whoa, that's kind of genius in a fucked up way.
Yeah.
If you want to try to... I mean, if you think about it. But it was just super weird. And, like, when I watch movies like that, it makes me think, what billionaire is trying to do some shit like this? Because I know somebody is.
Don't give Elon Musk any ideas.
Or Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Those bastards. Yeah.
You go into space, like, yo, it's
so annoying.
It's crazy. Let life be what it's supposed to be. We're born and we die. Don't try to like.
Don't fuck with it. Yeah.
It's like just leave it as it is. But yeah. I have to, let me see. I think it was called Voyagers. Let me see. Yeah, it was called Voyagers.
Interesting.
Yep. But the movie itself ended up being like really kind of like whatever.
The concept was
like
cool,
a whole thing, like it was more so the concept in like the first 20 minutes, and then after that it was kind of like, oh
yeah, because I'm sure they progressed into like a plot that was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But okay, last question. Jeez, we get deep. I love it. Let's see. Let me find a good one to end with. Okay. What's the worst physical pain you've ever experienced?
Oh, I can easily. There's I guess two that I would say are pretty comparable. I had gallstones, like stones in your gallbladder.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I had those like it was it was 3 years ago or something like that. I had to get surgery to get my gallbladder removed because of the stones, and it was like it felt like it like I can't.
Oh my God!
I can't describe the pain, but it was like. It felt like someone like took a knife and like twisted it into me and like it was like stuck like that. Like it was like it like it was so bad. But I'm glad, thank goodness for Canadian healthcare. And it was like very like I don't know semi-simple surgery, I guess. So that went well. But then I also hurt my back last year. well, I was helping my friend move IKEA furniture. I slipped a disc in my back, and then I started eventually, like later that year, at the with my personal trainer, and when we were working out, I slipped the same disc again, and then I like I went back to the gym like later in like March, and then I did it for a third time because I like couldn't let myself heal, and I was like overextending myself. So I like
God,
that was the like, so it was like March last year, this year. And like I could, like, I'm not kidding, like I could not walk, I couldn't hold myself up like by myself because it was like right like base of my back, and it was pinching a nerve. So like so if I was laying down, it would hurt. If I was sitting, it would hurt. Like it was, I can't describe it. It was like your whole, like I felt like paralyzed. It was wild. And then like luckily with I went to the chiropractor and he helped me, thank goodness. But I was very like excruciating is how I would describe it. I would not wish that on like an enemy. It was horrible, and I've done like a lot of work to like strengthen my core so that I'm, in healing. But it can take like up a year a year to heal. So I'm like still like, I don't know, I still have some problems with it, but I can walk, and that's makes me happy.
Yeah, I remember when you were posting about your back and how painful it was, but just hearing you describe it, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine. Like your back is your core, like
it's
literally.
So it's
without your back,
everything.
You can't do a lot of things.
Yeah, so I couldn't I couldn't bend forward. Oh my
goodness!
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was it was horrible.
I mean, at least you're feeling a little bit better now. Don't get too crazy and start deadlifting hella weight.
No, don't worry. I'm on a good track. That's.
That's good. That's good. Oh my god, like my back just started to hurt thinking about that. Like everything you do, it involves your back. Like everything. Oh my goodness. Oh, poor thing. Oh my goodness. Jeez, I'm just thinking about it. Like I'd be fucked up.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked a lot. I had to like not work for 2 months basically because I was like, focusing on recovery.
I mean, how could you? You can't sit. You can't sit in a chair.
No.
You can't move around and make content. Like, how would you have been able to work? Like, impossible.
It sucked.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Thank God for, you said Canadian healthcare?
Yeah.
Because the American healthcare, your back would still be fucked up.
Oh no! It was like I didn't even. My doctor didn't do anything about my back. I paid out of pocket for a chiropractor because I was like, my doctor was an ass to me. To be honest, he was like, "You just need to lose weight," and I was like, "Wow, thanks so much."
Wow.
Yeah.
How fucked up.
Yeah. He's like, eat fruits and vegetables to lose weight, and I was like, wow, a concept I've never considered before, a fruit or a vegetable. I haven't eaten one of those ever. Like, crazy. I know.
The discrimination that people get when they aren't what society thinks is healthy is so fucked up because their concerns to what is really going on with them beside their weight is overlooked because they just assume like, oh, if you were skinny, you wouldn't have these problems. Like, the fuck you mean, bro?
It doesn't. Yeah, I was like, I hurt myself at the gym, so I don't know what you want from me. Like, so yeah, and that leads to legitimately, like, I mean, that's a conversation for a different day, but like that legitimately leads to like fat people like dying because like they have undiagnosed things because doctors refuse to listen to them. It's so annoying.
1,000%. 1,000. Yeah. Like, yeah. 1,000. Fuck doctors because they're nothing but a glorified, overpaid Google. because that's where they get.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's like, I think if I might die one day and I'm like, oh my God, they're like, oh, I remember you from your podcast, bitch. You said fuck me, right? I'm nothing but a Google account. Let me think. Most physical pain. I mean, I'm like, do I want to? I mean, I guess I could say I don't really care. I'm an open book. When I was 19, I was pregnant, and my body rejected the fuck out of it. Like, it was the most intense thing I ever gone through. Like, mental aside, physical, I looked like I was Caucasian. I was that pale.
Oh my God.
I looked like I weighed, I actually lost a lot of weight, and I was about 100 pounds. So I lost about 45 pounds. So I was super, super skinny. Like, not the type of skinny like people like want to be. It was like, you look like stick and bones. And it was just like, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. I was always throwing up because there was nothing in my body, which hurt. If anyone has ever thrown up too much to the point where there's nothing to throw up, but your body keeps trying to make you throw up, like, that shit fucking hurts. Like, your throat, your stomach, everything. It was super, super intense. And I couldn't walk. I couldn't, like, sleep. I couldn't, like, lay on either side. I was basically in the emergency room every day, like, connected to an IV. It was really, really, it was, like, really, like, physically, it was probably the most pain I've ever endured. And I remember, like, the first time I went, I had to sit in a wheelchair for 6 hours before a doctor actually saw me. Like, I was in the, like, you know, like, you're in the waiting room and then they take you to the back and then you're, like, waiting for the doctor.
Yeah.
And I sat there for 6 hours with no pain medication, no nothing.
I hate that. I'm so sorry.
It was fucking horrible. So traumatic. So that's how I'm like, fuck, if I can go through that, I can go through anything. Mm-hmm. But that type of pain traumatizes me. I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to try to, like, go through that again. Like,
no,
it was just like, I felt like my body was on fire. Like, it was just so much. But yeah, that's probably, like, the most physical pain that I had ever gone through. And then I mean, like, people are probably gonna wonder, like, oh, well, what happened to the baby? I mean, obviously I was dying, so it was like I had to make a decision. It was my life or this unknown thing in my stomach's life, and I was 19, so obviously I chose my life. Like,
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Like, the fuck, I'm not gonna die. And, like, you telling me that I gotta choose? What the fuck you think I'm gonna choose?
No,
I'm gonna choose me. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but so crazy. Fuck, that's kind of like a really, like, Debbie Downer way to end this, but
hey, you know what? Peaks and valleys.
Hey.
Peaks and valleys.
Before I let you go, I love to do this thing of asking people what they're currently listening to on Spotify, musically wise.
Musically wise.
Yeah, so I can add it to the Chaotic Madness Spotify playlist.
Oh, cute. That's really cute. Let me look. Oh, I've been listening to a couple, like, TikTok-y songs. This one called ABCDEFU by Gail. So
yes.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, that one's good.
One called Come Over, and then in brackets Again by the Crawlers.
Okay.
And Bottoms Up by Kiki Palmer. That's really good.
Okay.
TikTok.
I haven't heard that one by Kiki.
I know, because people on TikTok were like, "Oh, this one has never been." Like, bottoms up. It's really good.
Yeah, I think Kiki posted a TikTok to that and was like, if Atlantic Records ever got a hold of the song again, that they would make millions from it, but like she wouldn't. Like, yeah, and then everyone was like, you should do a Taylor Swift. Do a Taylor Swift and release the song. Yeah, okay, I do remember that song. Okay.
It's really good, yeah. So that's kind of like, yeah.
All right. Okay, we fucks with TikTok songs. We're TikTok girl over here, for sure. And where can everyone find you?
GwenAdora.com-links is links to every place you'd want to find me. Ever.
And every place, she means every place. Like the spiciness. Everything. So don't be shy when you click that link, but do please be 18 or older. And I hope you're 18 or older listening to this podcast. Because, like, you should not be listening to me if you're not. Well, thank you so much, Gwen.
Thank you for
having me. I feel like I've taken up a lot of your time as it is.
Look, we could chat.
Of course, thank you for being here, rambling. I mean, yeah, I like I said, I love to talk, so. And yeah, everyone, so don't forget, I will have Gwen's links all down below in the description, whether if it's on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to your daily podcast. And until then, I will see you guys all with another crazy and who knows episode of Chaotic Madness. Y'all take care. Bye.